All right, guys, it is finally here. I'm revealing all of the tools that I've used in my business in 2020 and the ones that I'm gonna be using for 2021. I'm unraveling the entire curtain of my wholesaling operation and sharing with you exactly every single tool that I used to become as successful as possible in real estate wholesaling. For 2021, these are gonna be the tools that I recommend also, and these are the ones that I 100% use in my business. I'm gonna show you exactly what I use to pull everything, my marketing, my dispositions, things I use to get on task, how to deal with teams, acquisitions people, VAs, all that stuff will be revealed. But before we get into it, again, smash that like button and subscribe, help this YouTube algorithm, and let me reveal my top tools for 2021 in real estate wholesaling. All right, guys, without further ado, let me break down all of my tools into 4 distinct categories. Category number 1 is just going to be basically on productivity, systems, teams, and organization. So let me get the list really quick. These are the things I use to keep myself very organized, how I actually have a team together with all of my stuff, and actually how I can get everything done throughout my business. I need these tools every single day for it. So without further ado, number 1 here is Podio. Podio is my CRM of choice. I use that basically for everything in my business when it comes to actually getting the leads in, how to organize all the leads, making sure my acquisitions people are doing exactly what they need to do in their business, tracking leads, seeing how my marketing campaigns are going, am I getting a good ROI on them, the deals that I have under contract, what's on the whiteboard, what's closing, how much money we're making, all that stuff is in Podio. Right here is a link of actually how to set it up for absolutely for free. Go click that. It's a step-by-step guide, just actually going from scratch on building my Podio system out. Just click on the link above, you'll have access to it. Number 2 is one of the most important ones here is Google. I'm using the whole Google suite of services, which are absolutely for free that I use in my business. That means I use Google Drive, Google Calendar, Google Photos, all of that services that I use, they're all 100% absolutely for free for my business. I have folders in there of all the properties that I have under contract, the ones that I have under contract, all the properties and deals I've done from 2017, 2018, 2019, and in 2020, all the contract pictures, the actual profit and loss statements, accounting stuff is all into Google Drive. There's Google Sheets, which has all the Excel files of all the projects we do. We use that to keep track of all the properties we have as rentals, subject tos, everything like that. Blank contract templates, all that fun stuff is all in Google. I use Google Calendar because it syncs up to my Amazon Alexa stuff, and then it syncs up to my phone, so I have notifications all the time. Google Calendar, especially since I have an iPhone, it actually helps me out a lot, syncing everything up pretty well. Pretty sure you do the same thing with Android, but Google has been absolutely amazing for my productivity. Next here is Dropbox. I use Dropbox too of uploading all my photos for my business. Again, I still use that for the stuff like Instagram and maybe some YouTube stuff, but really mostly I just use Dropbox because it's the easiest way to send photos of my deals to my cash buyers. Next here is Facebook and Instagram. The reason why I talk about Facebook and Instagram so much is because I use that to stay networked with other real estate investors, cash buyers, realtors in my area. It's a great way for people to actually find me, and it's a great way to actually network on deals. It's one of my best marketing sources out there, and it's definitely something for 2021 you want to be using too. Facebook and Instagram, just make a business presence on there. Don't be the secret guy that says, I don't want anyone to know about me on the internet. Again, all your public information from the government is on the internet, so don't be scared of that. Get a public presence as a real estate wholesaler. I don't care if you have 5 followers or not. Just start following the top dogs in your market, get connected with them, and you can definitely get some more deals, learn some more, and see what deals that they're doing to help you out in your real estate wholesaling business. Next here is Upwork. Upwork is one of the best services out there for managing VAs and actually hiring VAs for your cold calling, your lead management, list polling. That is basically the website I use to find my VAs and actually how to manage them. Next here is the multiple listing service, the MLS. I use the MLS to actually comp my properties, sometimes even finding deals if I find something on the market that's a good wholesale deal. I've done that before. So with the MLS, basically I have access to it. My realtors do, my acquisitions people are realtors. So we all have access to the MLS. I'm not a realtor, and we use that just to comp tools and to get just more data around places if I want to just analyze my market and virtual wholesaling markets. Next part here is actually polling lists. So this is all the data and tools I use for polling data, polling marketing lists to get going in my real estate wholesaling business. The number 1 tool I use for polling all my data, basically about 90% of all the deals that I get are pulled from this source, and that is listrei.com. listrei.com. AKA that's PropStream. Again, I say listrei.com because that's the link you use just to get a 7-day free trial. It makes it easier because everyone asks me, how do I get a free trial link to this? So just listrei.com, which is PropStream. That's where I pull all of my data. It's the cheapest, best ROI, best data out there. Hands down. ListSource is another good one, but it's really expensive. It's 10 times more expensive than PropStream, and the data is so tiny of which one's better or not. Again, click here for a complete video on actually pulling little niche lists and other lists for PropStream. There's a little playlist of PropStream if you want to look more into that. PropStream's a really amazing tool. Get high equity lists, absentee owner, tax delinquency. I get my subject to lists there. You can basically get anything you really want. Utility liens lists, water shutoff lists, things like that. They're all on PropStream. So about 10% of my other lists that I use to actually pull for my real estate wholesaling business is through government lists. Now, what's a government list? These are lists I can't get off of PropStream, and I go straight to the government because they have all the data for me. For example, if somebody unfortunately passes away and that's a probate situation where I want to go help them out with a cash solution on their property, I can't get that list on PropStream, and I want to get the list right when the probate is filed. So if someone just filed the probate, let's say on a Monday, and today's Tuesday, I can go to the government, it's filed, it's recorded, I can go after that seller right there and try to help them out as soon as possible. Again, speed in 2021 for real estate wholesaling is going to be absolutely everything in this business. So that's why the government's great on that, which you can just get everything recorded, pull that list, usually have the VA doing it for me. Also, the other government lists you can pull is like code violations. You can actually get a more updated water shutoff lists, tax liens, utility liens. You get the evictions lists. All the other government lists are really good to pull. You can get them right from the code enforcement office, the clerk of the court, the courts, things like that. Really great lists to go after are those government lists. Technically, the government's not a tool, but it's a tool that I use their little websites and everything like that to actually go find my deals. And then when I pull all these lists, what I have to do is I have to skip trace the list. Now, the top tool I use, let's say someone on Instagram gives me a killer deal and says, Zach, can you cold call this person really quick? I'm just going to go get the free phone number and just go do it really quick. There's no point of logging into my batch leads account and then paying 25 cents for one. I'll just literally just go to truepeoplesearch.com instantly and just go find it for somebody. So for free skip tracing, when you pull that list, let's say it's a list of like 10, I don't recommend you pay for it. Save your marketing dollars for something else. Use that for gas to go driving for dollars. Just use truepeoplesearch.com for the free skip tracing. Once you have a list over 1,000, you definitely have to pay for it. You want to get the best data possible. That's why I recommend my skip tracing. The one that I personally use is Batch Leads. Batch Leads, if you just use code ZACH, Zach, you get 50% off your first month. You never have to do that. There's plenty of other skip tracing services, but that's the one that I use. I know the owners, they're great people. So that is the service I use. They have the best and most high quality skip tracing information out there. And lastly, when you want to pull lists, this is technically, my next one's going to be marketing, but pulling lists and marketing is kind of the same thing more or less when it comes to driving for dollars. So you're actually pulling a driving for dollars list, but you're actually marketing at the same time. Sometimes if you're going to door knock on that, but I'll just say for pulling driving for dollars lists, listrei.com is what I use for driving for dollars because I'm already paying it to pull my lists. So why don't I just get the free driving for dollars while I'm at it too, right? Deal Machine's another great driving for dollars one, but that's not the one that I use personally in my business. I like PropStream. I'm comfortable with it. I know how to do it. It's on my phone, easy app to do. So it's all included with there. No point of paying an extra $150 a month if you can use that money for skip tracing and extra texts. Now on the marketing side. So my top marketing channels again is always direct mail, SMS, cold calling, sometimes RVMs here and there if it's not in Florida. So when it comes to actually marketing, reaching out to these sellers, I do recommend that you use smszach.com. smszach.com is just basically batch leads. And you can use that, again, if you use your code ZACH on there, you get 50% off your first month for texting, which is pretty cool. But that's the one that I personally use just because you can use synonym spinner tokens, which basically means if I send 1,000 texts out, every single text is completely different versus another texting service where you just send a text out and it's a variant. So it's like, hey, my name's Zach. And then the next one will be, hey, my name is John, things like that. That's the average SMS platform. That's why I love batch leads so much. smszach.com really helps you do that with your spinner tokens. I have a million videos on that. So click above here, basically shows you what batch leads is all about. So next here, if you want to get into cold calling, I do recommend you do Zencall, Xen call. I don't know why it's called that, but Zencall is what I recommend in your business because it's a 12-line dialer, not a 3-line dialer like Mojo. You can get in front of 4 times as many people as the average dialer. So that's why I recommend ZenCall. It's a great service. Next, for my direct mail, which is probably our biggest way that we get our deals here in Florida, is I 100% recommend openlettermarketing.com. There's a link below to actually go there and order postcards and mail from them. They have the best customer service and the cheapest prices. That's basically it. Use whatever direct mail person you want, but they got the best prices and they got the best customer service. And then basically for acquisitions, I mean, obviously I like to use listrei.com to really run my comps. I use the MLS to run my comps, but also I want to know information about a property. So let's say I'm about to go on an appointment with a John, Sally, Sue at 123 Main Street, and I want to know, is there a property? What's the condition of it? Is the roof new or not? I didn't ask them. I don't want to call them. What I want to do is maybe I want to go to the property appraiser, the property assessor, whatever it's called in your county or city. That's a tool that I use in my acquisitions, and all my acquisitions people is I look at the actual permits pulled on it. So just go to the property appraiser website, what year the property was built, things like that. I can pull up a picture of the deed usually on the property appraiser website. Also, I like to use the clerk of the courts and the public records. There's a website. You can find all the public records you want for it. Look up deeds, things like that. Also, it's really important to look it up because if someone has a lien or like a second mortgage or someone took out like a HELOC, you can find it on the public records. List REI does all that stuff to you. If there's a crazy pre-foreclosure or maybe there's a foreclosure sale going on or an auction date, it will all be on the listrei.com and the public records if you want to look it up. I recommend the clerk of the courts is the best way to find it. And then when we're actually doing some virtual wholesaling and we want to get a property locked up over the phone, what we want to do is we can't physically sign a contract there. But what I do is when I want someone to sign a contract e-sign, which is an electronic signature, I use .loop. Most real estate wholesalers, I think, use DocuSign. Rick actually owns a real estate brokerage and all they use is .loop. And I've been using .loop for a very long time just because that's what I'm comfortable with. That's what everyone in our company uses. We just use .loop. DocuSign, the cost is pretty much the same. And it actually does the same thing. It's a Lowe's hammer versus a Home Depot hammer. Really, it's the same exact thing, more or less. So we get them to e-sign the actual contract so we can lock that up, bring a cash buyer through, and then make a profit in a virtual wholesaling business. So .loop is what we use, again, with our acquisitions also. Lastly, when it comes to dispositions, when we actually wholesale a property, which is when we actually buy the property, put it back on the market, obviously we have realtors who are going to list the property with us and they'll just use the MLS. So I guess that's another tool that we have there. Second, when we're actually have a cash buyers list, what I'll use is either SendGrid or MailChimp, depending. We use SendGrid because we send a lot of emails out that MailChimp is just too much of a mess for. If you're extremely new, above me is a quick tutorial on actually how to use MailChimp when it comes to your email blasting, gave you all my ad copy, stuff like that for sending out deals. That's what we use. We just do an email blast of all of our cash buyers in that area. So if I have something locked up in northern Georgia, I'll send it to my Georgia cash buyers list, not my Florida ones, and then we'll send it from there. Again, if we don't have any cash buyers, some other tools I do recommend is Facebook. Here is a video on actually how to build 250 cash buyers per day with the power of Facebook. So watch that video. It's really powerful. Facebook is a great tool to build cash buyers, especially on the disposition side. You can use that to collect emails, then use the SendGrid or MailChimp to actually send that out so you can get that deal sold. Also, if you have no cash buyers and you want to use your dispositions to build your cash buyers list, I do recommend you just do listrei.com, PropStream, and what you can do is pull all the cash sales in that area and then use smszach.com to actually skip trace and then send out texts with the certain ad copies on there. I have a million ways to text cash buyers on there, but basically it says, hey, saw you buy a bunch of properties for cash. I'm actually looking to sell one. If you're interested, please give me a call. Things like that. And you can easily sell all of your deals. Again, selling your deal right now in this market, especially for 2021, selling the deal is the easiest part. It's getting a property at a deep discount that is under contract, which is the hardest part. So that's it, guys. I unveiled the curtains of my wholesaling operation. That is literally all of my tools that I use to have the maximum success for me and my whole team in real estate wholesaling. I really appreciate you guys watching the video. All the links for everything is down below. And if you're interested in getting any of them, please let me know that Flip with Rick sent you, Zach Ginn. But I really appreciate it, guys. Again, if you got any value out of this content, smash that like button and subscribe. I truly appreciate the support that we're giving us at Flip with Rick. Have a blessed day.